You can.
All right.
Thank
Good
you,
morning.
Diane.
I'm going to stand, if you don't mind, just so I can project a little bit better. Hola, bom dia. Bom dia. Bom dia. Thank you. Obrigada. As Daniel said, my name is Diane Quest, and I'm the interim president and CEO of Points of Light, and it's really such a privilege to be here with you all today and with our affiliates really for the entire week. I want to say a huge thank you to Daniel and his team. He thanked all of the sponsors, but really, Daniel, you and your team at Atados are what brought us here together. It was your idea and your concept. And it's really a privilege to have you as part of the network. They are such innovative, engaged leaders within our network. So we have a wonderful opportunity, group of speakers, and a lineup today that is truly, truly all thanks to the team at Atados. Points of Light is an NGO that inspires, equips, and mobilizes people to take action that really changes the world and their communities. For more than 30 years, we have sat at the intersection of companies, NGOs, and individuals to create a world where it's easy for people to get involved and make change. We do this by working with companies to support your social impact work, both in consulting and advising on your strategies and supporting your employee engagement opportunities. And we actually do that work by leveraging the power of our Points of Light global network of affiliates. Those are NGOs that are in 38 countries around the world, and of course, including Atados here in Brazil. We're happy to have some of our corporate partners in the room with us, KPMG, MetLife, and Pepsi. And we're happy to have more than 30 of those NGO affiliates with us. They traveled from all over the world. We have folks representing states in the US, including Texas, Virginia, Georgia, Illinois, and Michigan, among others. I know I'm not getting to everyone. And countries representing India, Spain, Israel, Colombia, Ireland, among many, many more. Points of Light also celebrates and uplifts the stories of individual people through activities like Global Volunteer Month, which is coming up in April, and our Daily Point of Light program, which inspires people by showing them what's possible by featuring individuals who are doing amazing work in their own communities. Points of Light knows that there are communities of leaders across the globe, just like you, who are making change every day, and that's why we're very committed to supporting convening gatherings like this one. For the first couple of decades of our existence, Points of Light really focused on volunteering. And then a few years ago, we were developing a new strategy, and we learned that about a third of people say that they volunteer. But actually, more than 2/3 say that they take action in other ways. This led us to create what we call Points of Light's Civic Circle. And I do want to recognize that the word civic doesn't necessarily translate everywhere, so you can think about it as a social impact circle. It's really a framework that shows how people can move beyond volunteering to also taking other actions on behalf of causes that they care about. In addition to volunteering, there are 8 other actions that we consider: listening and learning, using your voice, using your purchase power to support companies that share your values, donating either money or goods to organizations, choosing to express your values through your work, like really most of us do every single day, voting, service, which we use as a pretty broad term to cover things like public service, voluntary military service, and programs like the Peace Corps. And for some people, ultimately becoming a social entrepreneur and creating new ways for solving problems in communities and society. For people who don't know how to get involved, the Points of Light Civic Circle shows that there are a lot of different paths to action to getting engaged. And for those who are already involved, it can show them that if they combine their actions and their activities, they can actually accelerate change. I'll share an example using education. Let's say that you volunteer to tutor a student after school. What if you also started a fundraiser and raised some money to buy some better school supplies for that school? And then you took it a step further and you used your voice to advocate for a policy change that you think would make the school or the school system better. how much more would that accelerate change for better education? It's this idea of combining social actions that provides a framing for what we can do to really change things in our communities and around the world. We wanted to test this idea to see if it's already happening organically. So last year, Points of Light conducted global civic engagement research in the US, the United Kingdom, India, and here in Brazil. We wanted to see how people were getting involved in their communities. Here in Brazil, the top 3 actions were listening and learning more about a cause, using their voice to raise awareness about a specific cause, and donating to a cause that they care about, either financially or through donating goods. So if people are already multiplying their impact organically in this way, imagine what we can do if we leverage the framework of the civic circle and intentionally harness this power. The framework of the civic circle can help NGOs and companies either expand or shift your strategies to actually meet people where they are and at what they're able to do at that point in their life. For business, this is particularly important when you think about your workforce. And we learned a little bit of that in our civic engagement research as well. We learned that Gen Z, currently ages 11 to 26, so some of them are in your workforce and the rest are on their way, they're the most engaged generation, with 39% taking 5 actions or more a year. And compared to Gen X, ages 40 to 55, 23% more of Gen Zers say that they want to use their workplace as an expression of their values and their social impact work. And it's not just employees who want social engagement. We know that consumers are expecting this as well. In our research here in Brazil specifically, 90% of Brazilians surveyed said that a company should take action on a social issue. And according to the Edelman Trust Barometer, 64% of Brazilians say they trust that businesses will do what is right. We'll hear more from Edelman later today about this, but the real headline is that we see that your customers are expecting you to take action and your employees really want their social impact values to be expressed at work. The civic circle is something that can guide you on both, either by picking an issue area that is important to your company and your business and putting it at the center of the civic circle, or by supporting your employees in a way that lets them support causes they care about and puts them at the center of the civic circle. Our hope is that today the conversations that we have will spark ideas and generate more understanding about the detailed, nuanced ways of doing this. I know there is a lot to take in. There is lunch, as Edvard said, so we're all looking forward to that. But I'll leave you with something that I think about as the concept of one. If you just take one idea, one conversation, one small thing that you learn, or one delicious part of lunch, take that back and apply that into your everyday, you will have walked away with time well spent today, which we know is a big commitment from you. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you all for being a point of light in your day-to-day.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. I also thank for the support that Points of Light gave to us all these years. It was really good for us to continue. Thank you. Bom, a gente vai continuar aqui e eu queria convidar a... So, I think I can say in English. So we are continuing here, and I would like to invite also Vanessa. She's the representative of the Assembly of Points of Light. So it's a place that the affiliates of Points of Light discuss and plan each other together the next years and the actions that we are doing together. So I'd like to ask you a little bit about the power of our network, and if you could tell a little bit more.
All right, am I on? So I have a lot to say about the power of the network. I too am a co-founder, and so I have a really similar story where about 15 years ago, myself and 2 friends, we all had full-time jobs. We were in actually graduate program for our master's degree. I was having my first baby. The other 2 were getting married. We were busy people. and we decided to start a volunteer network. And we set up a website, we started having volunteer projects. I live in Richmond, Virginia, in the United States. And we were working at like 2 in the morning. We were sending each other crazy emails. And we also got an email from Points of Light Hands-On Network at the time saying, hey, what are you all doing? We have a corporate partner that is in your region and wants to seed fund you. And you're one of the largest areas in the United States that doesn't have a volunteer kind of action hub. And well, can we seed fund you? And we were like, is this a crank call? Like, we really did not, like, is this a joke? Are you serious? And they were like, no, really, we want to help seed fund you. We want to help start and amplify your work. And we were like, yes, all in. And it really was, you know, as Diane said and as you said, it was a multiplier for us. Once we joined the network, it became a place of innovation, of collaboration, and of really learning. Other organizations, other affiliates were sending us their handbooks, their program designs, their budgets, their strategies, their forms, and we were starting with, with nothing. And that the power of that exchange really is what launched us and what helped build us. And what has been really amazing for us is now, 15 years later, we're doing the same. People will call us and ask us for our forms and our our program models, and really the power of really innovating. I think when we think about what it means to be a part of a network, whether it is your family network, your neighborhood, or the power of this Points of Light network is mutually beneficial, real exchange about putting ourselves in the position to be open to learn, open to give back. And it can be hard sometimes, but it's really how we can, we keep joking, no one wants to reinvent the wheel, right? We know that other communities, whether they are in Spain or here in Brazil or, down the street in Hampton Roads in Virginia, are doing incredible work. So why not be open and transparent to sharing that information and making our work faster and more efficient so that we can be the multipliers that we want to be in our communities. The one thing that I was thinking about, I have all these examples. He asked me for some examples of some collaboration, and I can tell you a lot of examples of the way the power of this global network has really amplified individuals and corporations, faith-based organizations, and we like to say whether you are 9 or 90 years old, there's a way for you to give back. And every one of the affiliates that are here are in their home communities being amplifiers. They are helping people find their path forward. And over the last couple of days, I was just kind of listening to the conversations that people in the network have been having as we've been together. And a lot of words were really striking me. There was conversations about belonging, about acceptance. I kept hearing people say things like, make it happen, let's get it done. And then one of the most compelling was, I was talking to Esther from Holland, and she was saying, I found my passion and my purpose. And she found that in her work. But to be able to do that in your own work means that you are able to do that for other people. And I think the amplification of our network is really what makes this so incredible to be able to be here and share our work with you all. And the last piece I'll say before I pass the mic on, last night we had a really incredible event that Atados put together. It was a dinner at a local community organization that works to create prosperity for women, children, and families who are, I don't know what the right terminology would be, but unhoused, looking for financial, economic, growth. They want to thrive. They want to prosper. And this community came together to really build their resources to do that. And you could just see the love and the engagement of the way that they built this community. But at the end, we had a really incredible, like a carnival style music. Am I saying that correctly? Carnival style music. There was a little bit of parading. But what's so beautiful about it and made me really think about the power of our network was the band leader was watching everything, and she was nodding her head, calling people in, tapping her foot. When one person needed a little bit of extra communication, she would go and look them in the eye and help them find the right beat, and then would step back and move this group of musicians that have worked together, and then one by one, new instruments came out, and people from the audience were participating, and people from the audience were dancing, and snapping their fingers and stomping their feet. And I realized that that's what we do in our communities every day, is we invite people in. We invite them into the party, we invite them into the fun, we invite them into the power of giving back. And being able to see that through the music last night was really compelling for me, because it made me realize the joy that can come from the work that we do. So thank you for that. Really, it was such a beautiful experience last night. So thank you to all the Atados staff and the community here for, I think, helping us really amplify what it means to be in community and trying to create something beautiful together. So.
Thank you. Ontem a gente colocou os gringos para curtir carnaval mesmo. Imagina só, numa ocupação a gente levou 60 pessoas e fizeram carnaval dentro de uma ONG. Foi uma coisa muito especial. A gente quis transmitir pouquinho do Brasil para as pessoas que vieram daqui. So, Julia foi a host do último encontro que a gente fez da Points of Light na Espanha, e foi muito gostoso esse encontro. E aí eu trouxe ela para compartilhar pouco como que os aprendizados desse encontro, que é muito sobre como tratar engajamento social, sobre como esses aspectos do Civic Circle que a Daiane trouxe, como eles podem realmente ser implementados nas empresas. Acho que a Júlia tem uma experiência muito interessante na Espanha, que é um país que a gente vê que já tem uma cultura de engajamento social forte, que as empresas já estão em um nível de atuar, combinando voluntariado com doação, com outras formas de engajamento. Então, queria convidar você para falar pouquinho como que está sendo a sua atuação na Espanha.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Well, first of all, I need to say it's my first time in Brazil and I am in love. I love the music, I love the food, I love the people. You are so funny, so amazing, really. So you have to be very proud about your culture and your country. Said that, yes, we hosted the last gathering in Madrid, and it was a real opportunity to share and learn with peers, but also to start thinking beyond volunteering, to start integrating this civic circle in the corporates, because we work mainly with corporations. And what we see in the corporations in Spain is really aligned with what Diane was saying in the research. We see corporations that are really understanding the power of volunteering and social engagement to really make an impact in the community, but also in their businesses. They are understanding that, for example, they can develop skills such as innovation, flexibility, or teamwork through volunteering. So they are developing more strategic projects that are more sustainable in their corporations. Human resources are asking people that is flexible, no, after the pandemic, but how do you build that flexibility? You can learn that in a book, you can learn that in a masterclass. You really have to challenge yourself out of your comfort zone. So they are understanding that volunteering has this power, no? So for us this is really good, because we are developing like more sustainable projects. Also, these human resources teams are understanding that also is a really good way to engage, as Diane was saying. Research says that corporates that have increasing the engagement levels of employees, they are more profitable. But once again, how do you build that engagement? The new generation are asking to really make an impact in the community. So if the corporates are developing programs to foster this transformation, they feel more engaged. And this, you can buy this, no? You have to do something. And even more, we saw something in the past years that I think is going to really be a trend. You also mentioned that corporations are understanding this power also to engage these clients, these new generations that are really willing for sustainable brands. So for example, we are working with a bank in Spain. They are focusing jobs, they target these young people. So they offer their bank services, they offer apart from that, like value proposition, they offer concerts, parties, discounts, and then they offer a whole program of volunteering and social engagement with inspiring talks, with workshops to really know how to be a good consumer, how to build your purchase power, that you call that, I love it. And they understood that this is a real way to engage clients. So it looks a small change, but I think it's a real big change because we are not working only with sustainability or with human resources. We are working directly with the business. So this means that this is important for the business because this is important for the people and the community. So I would say we are in a very sweet moment. We are in a moment where people is getting aware, they want to be part of the change, and this is now our work. So we are very happy about being in this moment. And this is what I wanted to share. So I hope you all enjoy as much as we did in Madrid and as much as I am doing in Brazil.
Thank you, Julia.